A meeting has wrapped up in the White House and two Western New Yorkers were in attendance. Western New York Women's Foundation CEO Sherry Scabone, she was there to talk about the need for universal child care. And Buffalo Common councilwoman-elect Zeneta Everhart also spoke. Zeneta is going to be joining us live right now from Washington, D.C. Zeneta, thank you so much for joining me on the 5:30.
Of course. Hi, Claudine. How are you?
I'm doing well. I knew you had another busy day in D.C.
Oh,
Talk to me about
definitely.
I'm sure you did. Talk to me about the message that you were there to speak about when it comes to creating opportunities for communities.
You know what? My message today was very clear. It was a great room to be in. We spoke with a host of administration from the White House, and it was awesome just to be in that space and network and exchange business cards. But my message was clear, and it's that, the east side of Buffalo needs help, and the city of Buffalo as a whole needs help. But more specifically, the East Side. I represent a district that has real needs, and those needs cross all across the East Side of Buffalo, and that's Maston, Ellicott, Fillmore University. All those districts encompass a Black community that has just been disinvested in for many, many, many years. And I don't need to tell you that because you've covered these stories for years. And so just being able to be there and tell them the needs of the east side of Buffalo and the needs of the residents and now my constituents. It was a good room to be in. I made a lot of connections in that room and talked to people about different resources, but also about best practices and what other communities are doing in their neighborhoods to help their residents.
Do you think going to Washington and speaking there, does it really make a difference? And do you believe that someone in the room was actually listening and they want to make a difference?
Yeah, I think that, coming here definitely makes a difference because for me to continuously get these emails from the White House and inviting me to the White House, that means that Buffalo is top of mind for them, right? And then also in that room, we had a Buffalonian, right? Tom Perez was there, who now works for the Biden administration, right? And so he knows the needs of the city of Buffalo. And so, yeah, I think they're definitely listening and, just being able to talk to them and hearing them tell me the stories of Buffalo, right? Different people in those rooms. And so that to me means that absolutely what I'm doing here is helping. And I know that it's going to lift the city of Buffalo up.
It's a big move for you to take as you get ready to take office in January. So if you had to ask Washington to assist the east side of Buffalo right now, what is the one thing that they can do, Washington can do to help the east side of Buffalo, which is a part of Buffalo? Because if the east side flourishes, all of Buffalo flourishes.
Exactly. And the one thing is, Claudine, and it's exactly what I said in that room. And again, I'm a person who's about spreading the wealth. Is what I told them is that we need a Black American plan. There are east sides of Buffalo all across this country in different states, and they all are struggling with the same exact issues. So for me, we need a plan that's going to address housing, that's going to address economic development, that's going to address jobs and education and hunger, right? And putting more grocery stores on in communities like that. And so that's literally the one thing that when I did get an opportunity to speak in that room, that's what I told them. We need a Black American plan.
And I'm sure you spoke loud and clear. Zeneta, thanks so much for coming on the 5:30 with me. Safe travels back to Western New York.
Thanks, Claudine.